Welcome to another edition of NC Sports Weekly News. Summer's here and the calendar is packed full. Capsize and close call for the Spindrift crew at the Route des Princes Irish stopover. Yann Elies reconquers the Figaro in an exceptional last leg finish. The Bol D'Or in the Swiss Alps and the Giraglia on the French Riviera. Euro Classics in full swing. 2012 champion Antoine Albo is back on top at the PWA Catalunya World Cup. And much, much more. Plunge into the action with NC Sports. A 30-knot wind gust turned what was to be a normal day of sailing into a nightmare for the crew of Spindrift here in the Bay of Dun-la-Auxerre. Onboard reports revealed that this was a split-second event. Engaged with the rest of the fleet around the buoys for the inshore races of the Route des Princes, the Mod 70 trimaran was engulfed by the stronger puff, and even though the staysail was released immediately, nothing could be done to avoid capsize. With plenty of Irish luck after enduring the entire shocking dynamics of the flipover and the mast slowly crumbling under the weight of the falling platform, all crew members managed to escape the wreck. But not all unscathed. Jacques Guichard suffered a broken pelvis and was airlifted to the Dublin hospital together with brother and skipper Yann. Unable to repair for the next leg, Spindrift was inevitably out of the race. The French Guichard brothers have a vast multi-hull racing experience offshore, in the Olympics, and in the America's Cup World Series on the 45s. Even the best will not have full control in this game. So in yet another stark reminder of the serious risks involved in racing large multi-hulls, many questions on the balance between safety and spectacularity are bound to return to the forefront in the coming weeks. Stay tuned to NC Sports for the final update with complete inshore and offshore results from this first edition of La Route des Princes.
Même moi j'y croyais pas au départ, hein. Enfin en tout cas pas à 100% et puis
I didn't believe in this at the start, frankly not 100%.
Et c'est vrai que ça change tout. J'ai senti que
And for once I had a good start that truly changed everything.
Puis après tout s'est enchaîné.
Then I felt like it was all falling into place perfectly.
Parfaitement.
Still with great pain because we had to go full steam and concede nothing.
Fallait mettre du charbon, fallait rien lâcher.
Yann Elies makes sailing history, winning La Soliaire du Figaro for the second year in a row. He never gave up. Off to a flying start with a first leg win from Bordeaux to Porto, and then placing fifth at the second Gijón stopover, he held on early to the overall lead. Yet Elies then faced despair on leg 3 to Roscoff as the forestay on his Groupe Guéguinet Semi-Espoir snapped clear in rough weather, throwing him out of top contention. Or so it seemed. A second-place finish in the final port of Dieppe and an advantage of 26 minutes on the overall scoreboard was just what he needed. This is an incredible comeback and a tribute to Yann's character strength. With his third place here in Dieppe, Xavier Macaire on Skipper Hero is runner-up at this 44th edition of the French Solo Classic, while third-place honors went to Vendée, held by Morgan Lagravière. 4 legs and nearly 2,000 nautical miles over 10 days at sea, and just a half hour separated the 3 leaders. This game is only for the very best of the best. So don't miss a single jibe, but watch the full-length 2-part special on La Soliaire du Figaro 2013, coming this July 15th and 29th at 9 p.m. A Nautical Channel exclusive presentation. It's a sight to be seen. Back in its first 1939 edition, it was called the Lake Tour of the Pale Faces, with just 26 yachts here on the waters of Lake Geneva. 75 years later, it is one of the top European sailing events. This is the Bol D'Or Mirabeau, and with nearly 3,000 sailors and over 500 boats on the start line, 2013 was again a complete success. An unorthodox downwind start plus shifting light to medium wind conditions further mixed up the cards this year for the massive fleet. A huge tapestry of sails with the experts on fast multi-hull racers and ultra-light displacement monohulls, crisscrossing with all sorts of keeled cruiser racers for the tenacious amateurs. Zenith Fresh led from early on in the 35-foot multis. The Swiss team, skippered by Jean-Philippe Boucher and helmed by Christophe Péclard, was impeccable, crossing the line with a nearly 2-hour advantage. Christian Wall on Team Sui 9 and Alinghi, with Ernesto Bertarelli on helm, completed the podium in the M1 class, in a heated finish packing more than 12 catamarans within just 8 minutes.
Beaucoup d'émotions. Non, c'était fantastique. Vraiment, c'est un moment.
Plenty of emotions. It's really fantastic. It's a childhood dream coming true after quite a few years. And finally, we've made it to the very end of a long race on a small lake, so it was really great. It's the achievement of a long dream and years of passion. It's fantastic.
De passion et puis fantastique.
A Mediterranean classic now in its 61st edition. The Giraglia kicked off last week between Saint-Tropez and Genova, mixing inshore and offshore regattas. Centerpiece of the race is the final 243 nautical mile stretch to the Italian port, rounding the rock of Giraglia on the northernmost tip of the Corsica island. With 14 nations and 184 yachts, this edition enjoyed perfect sea and wind conditions for fast racing. The 100-footer Wally Magic Carpet, captained by L'Oréal mogul Lindsay Owen-Jones, closed in 31.5 hours, winning the event in real time. But it's Laurent Camproubi and the crew of the smaller 40-foot Elies that win the Giraglia 2013 on corrected time in the IRC class, while Vyacheslav Frolov and the Symphony crew also took home first place in ORC with their X35. Sail for Gold in Weymouth, UK, the annual international meeting for Olympic and Paralympic sailors was somewhat downscaled to a national event this year, but many hopefuls did heed the call. New Zealand's Sam Meach and China's Li Jiashu take top honors in the laser classes, and the Irish Seaton and McGovern win the 49ers. The British teams did all the rest, virtually filling all the podiums. Mark Andrews took gold in the Finns. Dempsey and Shaw were victorious in the RSXs, while golds for the two new exciting classes went to Ben Saxton and Hannah Diamond in the NACRA 17 Cats, and to Charlotte Dobson and Nicola Groves in the all-ladies 49er FX. In the Paralympic classes, Saxton took the win in the 2.4s, and the Robertson crew led the sonar fleet. The 2012 world champion Antoine Albo is back in business following his first event win of the year in Costa Brava. In a final and decisive fourth race, the French star of the PWA circuit dominated the competition with superb sailing and by setting the top speed. Julien Quintel, also from France, captured second place overall at this Catalunya World Cup, while third place honors went to Italian Matteo Iachino. Current overall standings after two events also see the two Frenchmen in the lead, but with another Italian Alberto Menegatti completing the podium in third. Next stop is for early July at Pozo Izquierdo on the island of Gran Canaria for a taste of the open Atlantic Ocean. Be there with NC Sports. The men's ASP Tour is now in Indonesia for the final bouts of the Oakley Pro Bali. Plenty of lay days due to high swell have hampered the competition, but the top-seeded have already dominated the first rounds. It's the season's halfway mark, and Slater, Fanning, Burrows, Smith, De Sousa, Florence, and Parkinson, among many other potential contenders for the world title, are on the break as we close this NC Sports Weekly News. Stay tuned for full results and the top highlights on our next edition. And don't miss this week's top story for a mid-season recap of the men's ASP WCT and the full inside barrel on Kelly Slater's historic Perfect 20 in Fiji. NC Sports, plunge into the action.